It smells like coffee right away.
Yes, now it smells like toasted bread too.
Like inside the cabinet smelled like coffee.
Yeah.
There's Geoff right there.
Where is he? There he is. Look, he looks like an album cover. He got a haircut.
Sold out.
Ever since Buffalo, you sold out. Are you ready for failure number 2?
Number 2. We're at like 5 million in my life at this point. And I saw trees that make all of our trees look like punks.
So Geoff, don't know if now is time to broach the subject, but you may remember a year ago a certain law was passed in this state. And now, Jeffrey, my fine boy, there are delivery services from which you can procure all kinds of fine smokables. And I plan on partaking. The air feels good.
It does feel, it feels like the fall all the time.
Yeah, it feels clear.
We should move here.
I want to.
This seems like
Let's move Emerson here. Let's open a Seattle campus.
I freak people out and start talking into it.
Little known fact about Seattle, it's actually the location of the first hill in the world, home of the original hill. If this was in Buffalo, it would blow Buffalo's mind. Look at that. Plaid. This is the map that we received. I hope we can expect to see this sort of person.
Plaid.
It is plaid, technically. I want it to fit in. I would call it gingham, large size gingham, but Frankie won't take that, so plaid.
Milkshakes, the burgers, the lentil burgers, all vegan.
The snosberries.
The snosberries.
They're vegan. Plaid. Some plaid up there too. Look at that. Just making those donuts, pooping them out. It lays them like eggs. Thank you.
What do you got?
It smells really good. It's a lavender soy candle, but it smells like extra lavender-y.
Oh, they're making cheese.
Like it's elbow deep in cheese.
Thank
Look,
you.
there's the chunks in the back.
Oh wow, look at that.
There's the mac, there's the cheese. We're gonna combine them.
Ew.
It's pretty cool. I bought the $24 Taste of the Northwest.
I don't see regret in your eyes at all.
No, I'm just worried that you guys will be grossed out. This is Frankie, making movies every second of every day.
I feel mocked. Oh boy.
You always feel this.
I do.
Just in case we lose that camera. We got salmon, crab cake, clams, rice, veggies.
And a big ass Ferris wheel.
That's Safeco.
Yeah,
okay.
The black one is Safeco and the white one is something else.
Now we're at the top. Oh,
Apparently not.
we're in Seattle. See?
See, there's a fucking space needle.
Molly.
What are you doing here?
Molly, what are you doing here? Why are you so tall?
Oh, great.
Look at this.
Okay, you guys. The new Star Wars movie has a title: Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, Phantom Menace. They're all just they're all part of the culture now. Unless these movies are just completely, utterly forgettable.
Which, there's a possibility.
Star Wars Episode 7: The Ancient Fear.
That's the stupidest fucking thing The ancient
What is the
fear.
ancient? The ancient fear is death.
Yeah.
Is it about them coming to grips with that?
I wondered if they were going to kill Princess Leia just because the thing that Hollywood is afraid of most is an overweight female star.
Oh yeah, Star Wars Episode 7 and the horrifying 230-pound woman.
Ancient fear. That's just so generic.
It sounds like an Indiana Jones title that didn't get made.
And then just wait for the arguments of like, well, you know, technically nobody liked Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back, but that was sort of a cheesy title that no one liked, and shut the fuck up, it was good, and this is bad.
The Empire Strikes Back is what's happening.
Maybe it's gonna be a Cthulhu movie.
Yeah, The Ancient Fear. Star Wars Episode 7 and Plinkett's new review.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm looking forward to at this point.
So I'm gonna call Winter Life Cooperative Cannabis Delivery Service. The dispensary requires a medical card, so that's right out. I'm being connected.
Press 1 for weed.
Yeah, hey Orca. Can you sell me a smaller permutation than a quarter? Do I have a choice of strain for the owl pellet form? Well, maybe I'll just buy $15 or $50 worth of joints then. Bye. He signed off with peace. I should have put him on speaker, I'm sorry. I realized after that would have been really great.
We didn't have Orca's consent. He is a poor whale, after all.
We have...
Stinks in here, like weed.
Yeah, it does.
Go ahead.
It's a $15 product.
And you
I gave him $40 as a tip because their minimum is usually $50, but he made an exception. So this is actually, I read about this on their website. It's rolled by disabled veterans. Yeah, so it's rolled with hash and weed and keef and this stuff called some kind of oil. So this is gonna destroy me.
Can you say for the camera? that everything that you're doing right now that's on camera is legal.
Oh yeah, this is 100% legal. Well,
It's
like
even legal.
99%
It's even legal to buy.
Yeah.
He said that the amount he possessed was over
but
regulation.
He looked like he had 2 black eyes recently.
Were you
He had
attracted to
little-
him?
No.
Okay, we're at the theater.
So what are we? Are we delicious drunk?
Yeah, all of those.
Are we horrific?
Showed up to the theater about 45 minutes early, so we're just kind of bombing around. You got Hana looking at hippie clothes and shit. But
Skirts.
I'm seeing a pretty empty, pitiful-looking little theater, and I'm real sad that I'm thinking that we might be screwed on this one.
But Seattle is nice.
Sure, it would be nice to screen to a few people. How about 10? I'll take 10.
I'll take 4.
Well, we already got 2, and one of them was in the movie. I think he's bringing a girlfriend. The guy who's like, the sound guy didn't know what he was doing.
Sound guy didn't really know what he was doing.
He lives in Seattle, so he'll be here if nothing else.
Let the film begin. These are all the people coming out from the movie before us.
Which got a totally good turnout, and is about a musician in crisis. Not a soul.
No one.
Hey guys.
The ceiling looks like a chocolate bar. There was just an ad for weed delivery. I got a joint if anyone wants to light up in here.
It's super flammable.
And this would become my thing.
That's what they get for not staffing our movie with an audience.
You're the only legitimate member of the audience.
Well, there'll be more.
I don't know, it's 8:05.
Oh, really? You just never know.
And then having fun up there. You guys are the having fun up there.
Yes.
So we're gonna enjoy the screening, and then we're gonna have a Q&A afterwards amongst
Ourselves.
cool.
Fucking kill me.
Frankie, can I have first dibs on the shower when we get back to the hotel? Question. Can I have first
Question.
dibs?
Did you see my keys in your hotel?
Safely away.
For Hill, she says she gets people in their 40s, 50s, 60s.
So we're going to talk with our filmmaker, Frankie. He's is extremely, like, story-focused. You know, like, you don't need a huge budget.
Yeah.
Put on a great story, and, like, it's really clear from watching it that was your absolute priority. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And he wrote this really great 30-page story called You Guys Look Like You Were Really Having Fun Up There. And it was essentially the first act of this movie with a few plot changes. And it was the first time I read something where I was like, this dude's doing music as a metaphor for so many of the things I feel about art in general. I'm not a musician. That was his life for a long time before he turned to filmmaking. And so that's when I was like, this is the first time that I think there could be some nice genetic variation. Otherwise, I'm going to keep making the same movie over and over again. It was a nice challenge for me.
One of the techniques that I really, really love is that it's happens more than once in the film where there's conversation and it's very clear that it jumps like way forward in time, but that conversation, it goes smoothly and it actually works absolutely brilliantly. And it's great.
So visually, we had to try to do things to make it more interesting than just talking. So we started merging time and trying to do that kind of stuff because it's a lot more interesting to watch her going back to her old boyfriend while they're kind of having this meaningless conversation instead of doing them as 2 separate scenes.
When we had our early conversations, I said, there's a lot of dialogue here. I want to start trying to find some of the quiet moments.
Yeah.
Like, I understand you shot this in 9 days.
Yeah, we consecutive too.
Yeah, so I did the kind of the same thing where I shot a feature I was the producer, but also the co-writer. We shot it in 9 days. We did it all in one building.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't all in the same room, but we were all in the same building. But you guys were obviously all over the place.
It worked, but it's not smart.
Yeah.
When you have a tight 9-day schedule like that, there's no margin of error.
Yeah, and because he was out of town, you didn't even do like extensive rehearsals.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
we did Skype stuff though. Skype is so useful, it turns out.
But he met the people he would be acting with the first day.
Yeah.
Mark,
Yes.
I liked him. I thought he was very, like, boop.
How did you find the other cast?
Well, she's not an actress at all.
Yeah.
He's my boss.
Okay. Pretty much you'll be fired if you don't act.
Yeah.
She can get the time off pretty easy.
I played music for a couple decades. I was in the exact kind of bands that Mark was in, that playing to an empty house kind of thing that I did for decades, and I think every musician does for a while. And every time I saw that level of rock musician in a movie, it always struck me as wrong. Like it was never kind of the grubby people that I knew. It was, they always had good-looking people in leather pants playing the wrong instruments for stuff. So I just kind of wanted to make something that was more real to the experiences I had had playing music. So I sort of wanted to represent all of those different views of what it means to be a creative person and all the different ways people go about it in trying to pay their rent.
And that spoke to me as a guy who has a day job that funds this. We've never done a Kickstarter. We've never had to spend more than out of our pocket to make these movies. And like I said, this is my 4th one, so we keep making. We're not going bankrupt, and it's because of a day job. It's because I got over myself and said, this is something you do on the weekends, or you take a little 9-day vacation, make a movie, and you earn your money another way. And we kind of wanted to do we've never seen that in a movie before, where we're saying, like, we love art, we hope that you always are an artist, but just you might have to adjust things a little bit. Some people have seen this movie and were like, damn, it's a downer. And I've met other people who were like, it made me feel a lot better about the fact that I work at Walmart. Yeah, that really meant a lot to me.
And I'm just curious what you spend now.
Yeah, less than 10K. I don't even know exactly, because it was like, if a car needed to be filled up with gas, we did that.
Right.
And if
And the cinematographer bought
he bought his own camera, and we already owned a heap of audio equipment from our past films.
They all broke eye contact with me when I was like, so yeah, I'm the writer. Like, yeah, $8. It's like, all right.
Oh, you're a writer? Oh, cool. $8.
I produced it too. Like, the dude who didn't get into the festival gets in for free, but not me.
As time went on, some people who were affiliated with the festival came in and out.
Yeah.
Did you hear him the whole thing about his counseling?
No.
He was like, I run a counseling center, and I have an editing bay in the room, and I make art during the day, during my when I don't have patients. And he goes, I talk to people all the time about how they can have a day job and have art. He's like, I love this movie.
Ah, cool.
So
we had 2 very, very big fans.
in 2 cities.
In 2 cities across America.
It's pretty much a failure, right?
Here's the good part. This movie is built in to make you not feel as bad because it's kind of a pep talk in a way.
Yeah.
So when we watch it, it's like, yeah.
It never mattered.
What?
How many people were there?
No, it's true, but you make a movie, you at least want one nice
There was
screening.
a guy or two.
One nice screening.
There was a guy or two. The guy made people ask questions at the end.
Now we got to watch it on a screen slightly bigger than my TV. The sound guy didn't really know what he was doing.
They can definitely tell this is me. I have to pause because this is a special joint.
This is a special
It's
joint.
made of hash.
She was given special instructions from Melonhead.
I think I've seen that guy.
Melonhead himself?
I think I've seen him
big
before.
blue backpack with
Yeah.
20 ounces of weed in it.
Stinky.
Melonhead himself assured me it would be fine. He's a wizard.
But officer, I know Melonhead.
And then you're like, Melonhead, let's get married. And he's like, no, we can't.
Hana, your first ever legal weed in your whole life.
Yeah. It's so upbeat.
For issuing medical marijuana authorizations, a prescription for pot. To get one, state law says patients must have a terminal or debilitating medical condition.
Like being alive.
Like Hana.
Oh, fuck. That guy's a pimp.
They can continue to practice, but they need to practice at the appropriate standard of care. License is suspended.
That guy's
or
the
revoked
biggest
for
buzzkill in
improperly
America.
issuing, and the owner was forcing them to write as many marijuana authorizations as possible.
It was money driven.
Operation Melonhead. Legally high.
Yes.
In a bathrobe.
I too am in the bathrobe.
This is called the Hot Mess Bitch. It looks to me like there's biscuits and gravy, cheese, sausage, 2 over easy eggs. This is what was recommended at a restaurant we're at right now called
Biscuit Bitch.
Biscuit Bitch.
They have vegan cookies, Nina?
Yeah, and I actually had one,
Very good.
and it was really good. It was like perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Let's move to Seattle.
I think it's gluten-free too. It's got like, it tastes like that flour.
It's calorie-less, it's foodless, and yet delicious. They've cracked the code. They solved the health problem in America with this one cookie.
Welcome to Bill Spinell's Underground Tour. My name is Patty. I'll be one of the guides today. This tour began in 1965. We're celebrating our 49th anniversary at the end of this month. Anybody who came to Seattle had one thing on their mind, making money as quick as they could. But back then, the shoreline came almost to First Avenue, the street right out front here. So water came in a lot closer to what's downtown now. Oh, there's a reason the Native Americans weren't here. This is a mud flat, my friends. So the tide's coming in and out all the time. When the tide was all the way in, we had 8 acres of land that stayed dry. That was all. the city built a retaining wall. So now that street is lined with a wall on each side, and filling in between the two walls is how we raised the surface of the street up. We shot the hillside with a big water cannon, and once that dirt became mud, we could channel it like a controlled landslide and guide it to fill in between whichever two retaining walls we were working on at the time. We paused and placed our sewer line up high. And voila, no more exploding crappers. Hooray! Hooray! We've got our streets way up there, but our sidewalks are still down here. That's when we ran out of money. And if you could have looked down on the city from above during this period, it kind of would have resembled a big giant waffle. We dropped wooden ladders down at every intersection so you could cross with ease and convenience. Ladies, what are you wearing in 1890? The men in town helped all they could, chivalry and all that. They were always there to hold our ladders. They were focused on our safety. I know at least one time on a stormy day, an entire horse and cart slipped over, tumbled down, crushed and killed someone down here. Glass was set into the sidewalk above, serving as skylights, so we had natural light down here.
These are original skylights. That's the other side.
Nobody was getting blown off their crapper anymore like that guy. 2,500 people, or 10% of the population, was female. They all lived right in the same 3 square blocks here in Pioneer Square, and they all were employed as seamstresses, they reported. But it turns out these ladies were experts in buttons and zippers. Of course, they were staying in hotels, they were eating in restaurants, drinking, gambling, buying their supplies. So they really shared their paycheck with everybody in town, and the city loved it. So they taxed each seamstress $10 a month and taxed each gambling table $50 a month. And together, those two taxes made up 87% of the budget in early Seattle. And it was, for real, I'm not making this up, it was called the Sewing and Entertainment Tax. Do you guys have any questions about sewing? Gold was discovered up in the Yukon Territory in 1896, and by 1897, everyone was coming here because we advertised very successfully as being the gateway to Alaska, which is hilarious because there's a huge country between us and Alaska. We sold literally tons of goods to people going north, and it was often in a kit that supposedly had everything they needed for a year, and these kits typically included 400 pounds of flour, 150 pounds of bacon, and 5 bars of soap. I know what you're thinking, not enough bacon. And before we pass through, I have to warn you guys, it's the most haunted part of the tour. And I know it is because Ghost Hunters TV show spent 3 nights down here.
I did.
And they said so. But I do think it's colder down there a lot. So some people think that is a sign of a ghost, but other people think it's a bank draft.
I think it's a sign from a shoemaker.
Okay, are you having spring there yet? And the newspaper said some areas appeared to be carpeted in rats. They offered a bounty on rats. So if you caught one and killed it, you could chop off its tail to prove it was dead, take that in, and get 10 cents for it. But that proved to be very easy money for kids. They started setting up rat farms at home so they could, breed rats and bring in a bunch of rat tails all at once. And that wasn't the idea, my friends.
Some sort of communication device. Some matter of point of sales device. It's all espresso, ancient espresso machines. This reminds you of Kyle.
Yes. I think Kyle would enjoy this.
The first ever Seattle hipster. John Abrams hipster. Look how deep the hole is.
You can dump a lot in there.
Yeah, you can stuff a bunch of poop down there.
This whole area is where the World's Fair was set up.
41 seconds, traveling at 10 miles an hour. The Space Needle's been here since 1962. We were built for the World's Fair that year. We stand 605 feet tall, about 184 meters. To your left, the Puget Sound goes out to the Pacific Ocean.
Smooth jazz at all times.
Frasier.
A rainy ass day in rainy ass Seattle. No, I can't see shit. Just raindrops, right? Authentic Seattle raindrops.
Look, guys, they're educating us on grunge.
There's
Film Festival. Hey, that's us.
Yep, that's the one that we are not in. Not that we were even in the other one, really.
No.
You can change the time of day on these monitors. That mountain right there is what she wants. computer. You can get these things for $9, and you fill them with soda.
It used to be Queen Anne High School. It was built back in 1909.
Cool.
It is now luxury condos.
Of course it is.
We're at a place called Shorty's. It was highly recommended.
Why would you film right now?
Look at Shorty. It's a better name for a movie than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Almost certainly.
Yeah, because the Bon Scott air is unfuckable.
Sure.
I apparently don't even know how to fire.
So satisfying when you hit. Oh, look at that. And now it's broad daylight. Look at this. It's broad daylight.
Rainy day.
Legal as all hell. Look at this wild child. Oh my goodness. Melonhead, eat your heart out.
Thank you, Melonhead.
We're through security and have 3 hours before the flight back to Boston.
We were thinking it was at 9, but it's at 10:20, so
We're in some sort of airport mall. I've never been in anything
with a
but
wall of windows. I was saying it looks like the Axiom, the ship from Wally.
from Wally, right?
Yeah.
But
I
there's
don't
that
like the
Alaska
face
Airlines. Power outlets are all that matter in a moment like this.
That's our girl.
And look, you scope out a nice area where each of you gets a chair on the side. Look at that. I feel the need to end these with something, but I'm just like ready to go the fuck home. It was fun to go, but I'm done. No one showed up to the movie.